Brad Garlinghouse posted on X. We reclosing this chapter once and for all and focusing on what matters, building the internet of value. Lock in. So let's talk about what this means. What does this announcement mean? How should you as a crypto investor be thinking about this? Projects like Apple are urging XRP holders to keep their coins, and they are confident that this resolution will pave the way for regulatory clarity and institutional adoption. This indicates that the market is in a consolidation phase. Investors are likely repositioning themselves before a major breakout triggered by regulatory or macro events. The XRP ecosystem is responding positively, viewing it as a green flag for the future of crypto regulation. Major players like Apple and Bitstamp are highlighting the importance of holding XRP and the potential for growth. Plus, exciting developments like Robinhood rolling out microfutures and Gemini launching tokenized ETFs are driving innovation within the space. As always, stay tuned for more updates. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Typically, price consolidates before a significant move, forming a base for future growth. And when we look at the macro calendar, we have important manufacturing PMI data, employment data, and Jerome Powell's speech to watch for potential fireworks. Any hint at rate cuts or a dovish tone from Powell could shift risk sentiment, drawing fresh capital into risk assets, including crypto, and potentially lifting XRP. Now, remember that Apple is one of the largest XRP use cases and they have skin in the game. But it's not just them. If heavyweight players like BlackRock get involved, we could see massive institutional influence. Remember that Apple is valued at $1.5 trillion, and while Ripple isn't going to acquire Apple, it's just an example to illustrate the scale of ambition within the XRP ecosystem. They're aiming to bring together traditional finance and blockchain in a massive way, and we can see that tokenization is moving fast. For example, Gemini is already launching tokenized ETFs. This development opens doors for traditional investors to participate in the crypto market through familiar investment vehicles. It is a big step towards mass adoption, and XRP and Ripple are well positioned to lead this revolution. On June 2nd, Robinhood completed its $200 million acquisition of Bitstamp, a leading global payments infrastructure provider with over 50 licenses and strong institutional reach. This strategic move significantly enhances Robinhood's capabilities, allowing them to offer a wider range of financial services to their customers. And XRP holders are excited because XRP is the native bridge currency of the payment network. So Bitstamp's integration is expected to boost adoption. And if you haven't seen it yet, check out my video on Robinhood rolling out microfutures with a Bitcoin and Ethereum pairs. Microfutures are now live on the platform and XRP is next. This positions XRP not just as a speculative asset, but as real infrastructure for fast, low-cost payments. We'll also take a look at some current prices for Bitcoin and XRP, and wrap up with some key dates on the macro calendar that we need to watch for potential fireworks. If you're interested, please hit subscribe. On June 27th, Ripple officially announced it's dropping its cross-appeal against the SEC after nearly 5 years in court. Let's start with the big news today. As many of you know, there was a joint request from both the SEC and Ripple to Judge Torres to vacate the April ruling and reduce the $125 million penalty to $50 million. Essentially, the SEC and Ripple were asking the judge to reconsider his previous decision. Well, yesterday, Judge Torres rejected that request, leaving the door open for an appeal. In response, Brad Garlinghouse announced that Ripple would not pursue an appeal. Instead, they would focus on the 19 other cases pending against the SEC. By dropping the appeal, Ripple is signaling that it is ready to move forward and accept the original fine and likely the injunction. However, the case itself is not closed until the SEC also drops its appeal, which is expected. Once the SEC follows through, the lawsuit will be officially resolved. The entire crypto community has been eagerly awaiting this moment, and the ecosystem responded immediately. Looking at current prices, Bitcoin is hovering around $107,440, and XRP is steady at about $2.18. Now, speaking of catalysts, analyst Nate Gressy highlighted that resolving the lawsuit would clear the path for XRP spot, enabling institutions to buy XRP within regulated frameworks. To recap, Ripple dropped its appeal, signaling the case is nearing closure.